हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शङ्करो वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणो याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरं। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धेर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan is revealing his vibhutis in this chapter. Many of them are revealed. The main vibhutis Bhagwan says that I cannot reveal all my vibhutis because there is no end to them. They are infinite. But the main vibhutis are revealed. So Bhagavan says that mrityu sarva haraschaham, that I am death among those which takes away everything. Sarva haraha, I am the death which takes away everything. And I am the cause for prosperity and success of those who will become successful in future. Among all women, I am Kirti, Shri, Vak, Smriti, Medha, Dhriti, Kshama. These are most beautiful qualities. And Shankaracharya ji, he writes, Ki iti eta uttama strinam aham asmi, that I am among all these best women, I am these women. And yasam abhasa matra sambandena api loka kritartham atmanam manyate, that even if we gain a little bit of these qualities, we consider ourselves blessed. People consider themselves blessed. So these are very beautiful values, qualities, and they are expressed in women. So Bhagavan calls them his vibhutis. Now, in the next verse, Bhagavan reveals some more of his vibhutis. Verse number 35. Brahat Sama Tatha Samnam Gayatri Chandasamaham Masanam Margashirshoham Rutunam Kusumakaraha. Bhagavan says that among all the mantras of Samaved, see, Bhagavan had already mentioned before that among all the Vedas, Samaved is Bhagavan's vibhuti. Samaved is very musical, very beautiful Veda. Even Chandogya Upanishad is from Samaved. Very beautiful. Bhagavan says that among all the mantras and hymns of Samaved, I am Brihat Sama. I am that hymn called Brihat Sama. This is a beautiful stuti of Devata, and this Brihat Sama hymn is generally chanted, sung at night, at midnight, and it is considered to be very, very melodious and beautiful. So Bhagavan says, I am that. See, the very source of all music is considered to be the Samaved, and among them this is considered to be very, very musical and beautiful, this Brihat Sama. So Bhagavan loves music, and this is his beautiful vibhuti. So Brihat Sama Tatha Samnam, and Gayatri Chandasam Aham. Then in Sanskrit poetry, there are these different meters are there. They are written in different meters. Just like we have in this Bhagavad Gita, most of the shlokas are in Anushtup Chandaha. Chanda means meter. So there are different meters are there in our Vedas and other Shastras. So Bhagavan says, among all these meters, I am Gayatri Chanda. See, the famous Gayatri mantra is also in Gayatri Chanda. And apart from this Gayatri, the famous Gayatri mantra, we have so many other Gayatri mantras in praise of so many other devatas also, which are chanted by the devotees. So Bhagavan says that among all the chanda, I am Gayatri. So all of you know this Gayatri mantra, which is very famous, which is taught before we study the Vedas. We have to be initiated into Gayatri mantra. And when we chant this Gayatri mantra regularly, it purifies our mind and makes us fit to study the Vedas. So Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodayat. This Gayatri mantra. But there are other Gayatri mantras also in praise of so many devatas, like in praise of Ganesh Bhagwan. There is this Gayatri. Om Ekadantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dante Prachodayat. Then there is a Gayatri in praise of Bhagwan Vishnu. Om Narayanaaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. Then in praise of Rudra. Om Tatpurushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat. Then there is in praise of Durga Mata. Om Katyayanyai cha Vidmahe Kanyakumaryai cha Dhimahi Tanno Durge Prachodayat. There is in praise of Lakshmi Devi also. Om Mahadevyai cha Vidmahe Vishnu Patnai cha Dhimahi Tanno Lakshmi Prachodayat. Like that, there are lots of this Gayatri mantras are there, and they are in a particular chanda, particular meter. There are 24 aksharas in Gayatri chanda, and is considered very beautiful. And each akshara is considered as where the devatas reside. So 24 devatas reside in this Gayatri mantra and is considered very, very potent and powerful. And regular, when we chant this Gayatri mantra, it purifies our mind and tunes us to that supreme reality. So among all chanda, Bhagavan says, I am Gayatri Chanda. Gayatri, the word Gayatri, it means Gayana Trayate iti. One who sings is protected. Gayatri means is that Shakti which protects the one who chants or sings this Gayatri mantra. So Gayatri Chandasam Aham. Then among the months also, we have these 12 months. The whole year is divided into 12 months. And among all these months, Bhagavan says, I am Margashirsha. Bhagavan conveys his vibhuti among months also. So we have these various solar months. Vaishakha, Jyeshtha, Ashadha, Shravan, Bhadrapad, Ashwin, Kartik, and Margashirsha. Margashirsha come during November, December. Then Pausha, Magha, Falguna, and Chaitra. So among all months, Bhagavan says, I am Margashirsha. A beautiful month, not very hot, not very cold. People rejoice in this beautiful weather. So Bhagavan says that is my vibhuti. That way all the months are Bhagavan's expression only, but this Marga Shirsha is specially Bhagavan's vibhuti. Then we have these various seasons called ritus. So Bhagavan says, Aham Rutunam Kusumakaraha. Among all ritus, I am Kusumakaraha. I am that ritu which gives rise to lots of flowers. Lots and lots of flowers are produced during this ritu. It's called spring, Vasanta Ritu. The whole nature appears so beautiful, and all the flowering plants and trees and all start flowering, and you see the variety of flowers everywhere. It's most fascinating. See, the earth is considered as the very abode of all fragrance. We have seen before also. The earth is fragrant. Punyo Gandha Prithivyancha. Bhagavan had revealed his vibhuti as the fragrance in earth. But this fragrance of the earth gets expressed through the variety of flowers. You can't imagine the varieties which are there in the world. In the Himalayas, there is a place where the thousands and lakhs of varieties of flowers grow. A valley of flowers of different fragrance. They are so amazing. And all this fragrance come from this earth itself. The fragrance comes from earth. And this fragrance are very beautiful, and the fragrance have medicinal powers also. All this fragrance, they have medicinal powers. There is a type of therapy which is called that Bach remedy, in which they utilize this fragrant powers of the flowers to prepare remedies to cure different ailments of people. So flowers are very beautiful. And then there are different devatas who like different types of flowers. So when we do puja, we offer those appropriate flowers to those devatas. Like Ganesh Bhagwan, he likes red flowers. So those flowers are offered to him. So Bhagwan says that I am Kusumakaraha. Aham Rutunam Kusumakaraha. I am this Vasanta Ritu. So during Vasanta Ritu, we should see the presence of Ishvara everywhere. The whole Vasanta Ritu is Bhagwan's vibhuti only. So wherever we look, wherever we see, whatever we see, we should experience the presence of Ishvara. Okay? Now in the next verse, a very strange vibhuti Bhagwan expresses. So let us chant that verse. Dhyutam chalayatam asmi tejas tejasvinamaham jayosmi vivasayosmi sattvam sattvatamaham. Bhagwan says that dhyutam chalayatam asmi. Bhagwan says among chalayatam. Chalayata means chalasya katrunam. Among those those things which cheat, छल करने वालों में, हाँ, which cheat, which which cheats, हाँ. Bhagwan says, I am Dhyutam. Dhyutam is a type of that gambling, which is even the whole Mahabharata war happened because of this Dhyuta only, Dhyuta Krida. So this Pandavas and Kauravas were residing in their own separate kingdom. Duryodhana was in Hastinapur and the Pandavas were in Indraprastha. But Duryodhana was very jealous of Yudhishthir and all these Pandavas. He was jealous that they have, within short time, they made their kingdom so prosperous. So he wanted to take away that kingdom somehow by hook or by crook. And he knew that Yudhishthir has some weakness for gambling. And whenever a king is challenged for gambling or for even a war and all, they have to take up that challenge. So Yudhishthir, this Duryodhana challenged Yudhishthir for a game of dice, Dhyuta Kirida. And you know the story, that Yudhishthir then came along with all his brothers and Draupadi also. And on the side of Duryodhana, that Shakuni, he played. And Yudhishthir was playing himself. So this Shakuni was very crooked and very, he had his special, those things which are thrown. And it was nowadays we know that in gambling places also they rig the place so that you get cheated to play there. So similarly he had those dice which were rigged. So whatever he wished, whatever he thought, that dice is to come, that number is to come. So through cheating, Duryodhana played, and Yudhishthir, because of his attachment and all, he started losing things one by one. He lost his lot of wealth, he lost his kingdom. Then he put his brothers also on stake, so he lost them. He lost himself also. Then he put Draupadi on stake, which was so very wrong, and he lost her. So Duryodhana told that Dushasana to bring that Draupadi in that darbar. If she is not willing to come, you pull her and bring her forcefully here. And Draupadi was brought to the darbar, and all these people were there. Dhritarashtra was there, Bhishma Pitamaha was there, Dronacharya was there, and so many other great people were there. And all these Pancha Pandavas were there, Duryodhana and all others were there, Karna was there. And Draupadi, she requested even Dhritarashtra and all that, don't do such things, this is not proper. And she asked a question that who lost first? Yudhishthir, he lost himself first, or I got lost first? And what right does he have to put me on stake. But nobody could answer her questions and all. All of them were tongue-tied, helpless, as though. Duryodhana told Dushasana to disrobe her, and she called for help from everyone who were present there. Nobody came to help. Then she just prayed to Bhagwan that please you help me, protect me. And Bhagwan protected her. But then she was so furious and she wanted to curse the entire kingdom and everyone. That time Gandhari, she comes there and she asks for forgiveness from Draupadi and says, please don't curse anyone. And then Dhritarashtra, he gives back the kingdom back to the Pandavas and all. And they go back. And he releases all those brothers from bondage also. So they go back to their kingdom. But again, Yudhishthir is challenged and he comes to play that dice again. And again he loses. And this time all the Pandavas along with Draupadi, they go to the forest for 13 years. And after 13 years when they come back to get their kingdom, the Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana and all, they say, no, we will not give you. Duryodhana says, I will not give you your kingdom. And therefore this Mahabharata war was fought. So this whole thing, the root cause of all this was this gambling. Gambling is a strange thing which is there in people's mind. That you contribute little, but you want more result. For little action, for little contribution, person wants more result, which is totally against the law of karma also. How can you have less action and have more result? And also those who involve themselves in this gambling, they get caught up in this mesh of greed. And because of that greed, they overlook the path of proper righteousness, goodness also. So they tend to cheat. So in the gambling places also you find that people cheat in different ways. First of all, the gambling place itself, the owner and the organizer themselves, they cheat. They never lose. They get the most benefit. Then all those who play, they also get cheated in different ways. So gambling is considered to be very, very bad. But here Bhagwan calls it his vibhuti. So here the idea is not that we should worship this gambling, but through this gambling we should meditate on Ishvara. That Ishvara is present not only in that which is good in this world, but even in all things Ishvara's presence is there. And Ishvara's power itself, that his Shakti itself, that Maya itself functions through all this. So tamasic nature of that Maya, Bhagwan Shakti, functions through all these things. See, just like when we say Amrut, Amrut is something most wonderful, that when one drinks Amrut, one becomes immortal. But at the same time, in the world, there is poison also, which is so potent that a person takes it and he dies. But that potency of the poison is also Bhagwan Shakti. So Bhagwan Shakti is there in that which is positive and that which is negative also. And Bhagavan has given us this Vivek Shakti to discriminate and follow the path, right path. So among that which can cheat and destroy people's life, Bhagavan says, I am this gambling. So if you want to be cheated and you want to destroy yourself and others around, then this gambling, if one does, it happens. So indirectly Bhagavan is warning us that be careful of this gambling. Though it is my vibhuti, it is not meant to be worshipped. But understand the power which is there in this gambling and understand that as my power and meditate on me and become one with me. So Dhyutam Chalayatam Aham. And in modern times also we have the different types of gamblings. People get addicted and they get involved into it and they suffer because of that. So one thing we should understand, that nothing is free in this world. If we want something, we have to contribute. If we contribute openly, then we get it. But if we don't contribute and we want to take more, then something from us indirectly goes away. We can't cheat. We can't cheat others. We can't cheat ourselves. Something from our life will go away. Our punya will go away. Our goodness will go away. We don't get anything free. So Dhyutam Chalayatam Aham. Bhagavan says, I am this Dhyuta among all those which cheats. Then Tejas Tejasvinam Aham. Bhagavan says, among the Tejasvi, the most bright and brilliant people, those who are very, very, very charming and bright and have their own glow, tej, they have their own presence. Bhagavan says that teja is my vibhuti. See, there are people of different age, different gender, different varna, ashrama. They have a very wonderful teja in them, some of them. And that teja comes through following the path of dharma. And also by following sincerely certain values in life. The person who follows the value of truthfulness very strictly develops a teja. One who follows ahimsa, satyam, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha develops a special teja, which is like a glow which is felt by others. Just like Nachiketa, a small little boy, he had a terrific teja because of all his qualities like Vivek, Vairagya, Shamadhamadi, Kshat Sampatti, Mumukshutvam. He had that teja. Even Bhakta Prahlad, he had his teja. All our great Mahatmas and all, they have their own teja, their presence. So that teja, Bhagavan says, is my vibhuti. Tejas Tejasvinam Aham. I am the teja in all those who are tejasvi. See, just as the sun, which is so glorious, so bright and brilliant, and when we see the reflection of the sun in the waters or in a mirror, that reflection also has got that power and strength. Even the reflection we can't see. It's so bright, we can't look at that reflection for long. So that is just a reflection of the Tej of Bhagwan, of the Surya. Similarly, the Tej in everyone is the Tej, ultimate Tej of that Ishvara alone. So Bhagwan says, Tejas Tejas Vinamaham. So if you see the Teja in anyone, consider that as Bhagwan's Vibhuti. Okay. Then Jayosmi. Bhagwan says, I am Jaya. Jaya means victory. Among all those who are victorious. Jetrinam. Among all those who are victorious, Bhagwan says that victory is my Vibhuti. See, people, they involve themselves in different types of activities, and sometimes they succeed, they become victorious. So Bhagwan said that victory is my Vibhuti only. In Mahabharata there is a very famous important statement which says that wherever there is dharma, there is victory. Yatho dharmah tatho jayah. Yatra dharmah tatra jayah. Wherever there is dharma, there alone lies victory. Even the end of this Bhagavad Gita, the last shloka, Bhagwan, our Sanjaya, he says, कि यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णः यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीर्विजयो भूतिः ध्रुवां नीतिर्मतिर्मम. So tatra shrirvijayah, that wherever there is Bhagwan Krishna and wherever there is Arjuna, the Yogeshwar Krishna and Dhanurdhar Arjuna are together. Means wherever spirituality and materialism also come together properly, in proper harmony, Bhagwan said there alone lies proper victory, and that alone is good niti, good policy. Tatra Shrir, there alone is prosperity. Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutihi Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Yato Dharma Tatho Jayaha. So Jayosmi, Bhagwan says, I am Jaya, I am that victory among all those who are victorious. So anybody victorious, they are victorious only if in their life there is Krishna as well as Arjuna. That alone is considered as real victory. If through cheating and lying and all, if we think we have become victorious, that is not victory. Real victory is where Krishna is on our side, Arjuna is on our side. Then that is victory. Bhagwan, if he is on our side, then that is victory. If we are against Bhagwan, then that is not victory, that is defeat. So Jayosmi, then Vyavasayosmi. Vyavasaya, among all those who put forth effort to become successful, Vyavasaya. Like different people, they do different types of business or activity. They take up some projects. They put forth effort. So that effort, Bhagwan says, is my Vibhuti. Vyavasaya, Vyavasayosmi, Vyavasayinam. If we want to achieve anything in this world, we have to put forth effort. If we walk, then our fate also walks. When we run, our fate also runs. But when we lie down, our fate also lies down. And if we sleep, then our fate also sleeps. हमारा नसीब. When we walk, हमारा नसीब भी चलने लगता है. हम सो जाते हैं तो हमारा नसीब भी सो जाता है. So one should put forth effort. Udyog it is called. It is said that even a lion, if he doesn't put forth effort, the prey will not come and go into his mouth. He has to get up, he has to run, he has to chase the deer or other creatures. Then only he can get food. It is not that, he is the king of the jungle, so the other creatures will come to him. No. So unless we put forth effort, we will not get the desired result. Whether it is in the world or in the spiritual path also, we have to put forth effort. So Bhagavan says that effort, you consider that as my vibhuti. So Vyavasayosmi, I am the Vyavasaya. Then Sattvam Sattvavatam Aham. Then Sattvavatam. Sattvavatam is good people. Those who are sattvic. Those are good. What makes a person good? When he or she follows the path of dharma, and when he or she cultivates the sattva guna, the sattvic qualities of ahimsa, satyam, asteya, the daivi sampatti, shama, dhamma, uparama, titiksha, abhayam, sattva, samshuddhihi, and all. So the goodness which we see in people, Bhagavan says that goodness is my vibhuti. This is very important because many times what happens, we appreciate the goodness in our own people. If our family members is good, or some our friends or relatives are good, whom I appreciate, then I call them good. But if I see goodness in my enemies, if I see goodness in some stranger, if I see goodness in some other person whom I don't know, I may not appreciate. But Bhagavan says, wherever you see goodness, you appreciate it because it is my vibhuti. Doesn't matter where it is, because I am there, I am present. I am present there. You don't say that no, the goodness in that person is not good. No, goodness is good in everyone. Even in an enemy, if goodness is there, then that goodness is Bhagavan's vibhuti only. So Sattvam Sattvavatam Aham. I am the Sattva, goodness in Sattvavatam, in those who are good. Okay? Further, Bhagavan says, Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandhavanam Dhananjayah Muninam Apyaham Vyasah Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Bhagavan says that Vrishninam, among the Vrishni Vamsha, Vrishni Vamsha is there, in which Bhagavan Krishna himself was born. Therefore, Bhagavan Krishna is also called Vashneya, born in that Vrishni Vamsha. So Bhagavan says, Vrishninam Vasudevaha. Vasudev is Bhagavan's name only, Bhagavan himself. Krishna, Vasudev Krishna, son of Vasudeva. Son of Vasudeva and Devaki is this Vasudev Krishna. Bhagavan says that this Krishna, myself, who is your friend, Ayam eva aham tvat sakha, your friend, born in this Vrishni Vamsha, is also my Vibhuti. I am my own Vibhuti. Krishna is the Vibhuti of that Ishvara. Here Bhagavan is speaking as Krishna, as that Ishvara, and he is presenting himself as a Vibhuti, his own avatar as Krishna, as Vibhuti. Just as he has mentioned Sri Ram, avatar of that same Ishvara as his Vibhuti, here Bhagavan says, this Krishna avatar is also my Vibhuti. I, that Brahma, I, that Bhagavan, my Vibhuti is Krishna. So Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi, so beautiful. We can worship Krishna as Bhagavan's Vibhuti, direct Sakshat Bhagavan himself. See, Bhagavan's this Vibhuti as Krishna, people worship in different ways. We can worship in different, according to our bhava. One can worship the Bala Krishna, Krishna as a little child, or Gopi Krishna, Krishna as the Sakha of these gopis, or Gopal Krishna, the Krishna protecting the cows, or Govardhan Krishna, the Krishna who lifted that Govardhan Parvat, or Parthasarthi Krishna, the one who became the Sarathi of Arjuna, or that Vishwarupa Krishna, Bhagavan showed that Vishwarupa to Arjuna, or Murlidhara Krishna, Krishna who plays that beautiful Murli, the flute, and all the gopis and even the cows and all get attracted towards him. So many different expressions are there of Krishna. If you read the Charitra of Krishna, you will find that every step, every Leela, you can worship that expression of Bhagavan. It's a beautiful expression. Even as a Makhan Chor, he used to steal butter. So, Krishna is Bhagavan's Vibhuti. So, Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi, Vasudev. Vasudev's son. Vasudev also means one who resides in everyone. सब में वास करने वाले, Bhagavan, who resides in the heart of all beings. Heart means the very essence, the very core of all beings. He is the very self of all beings. So Vrishni Nam Vasudevosmi. Then again very beautiful, Bhagavan says, among Pandavas, Dhananjaya is my Vibhuti. You are my Vibhuti. Pandavanam Dhananjaya. So beautiful. He says, hey Arjuna, you yourself are my Vibhuti. You can look at yourself and meditate on me I myself am expressing as you. You and me are not different. The essence of you is myself only. You are my vibhuti. Don't look at yourself as someone who is bad or impure or sinful. No, you are my wonderful vibhuti. Therefore, Bhagwan calls Arjuna as Anagha also, sinless. So, Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Dhananjay is also expression, wonderful expression of Bhagwan. Arjuna was a great devotee of Bhagwan. He is a Sakha as well as a devotee. And Bhagwan took that nimitta. This Arjuna getting deluded and all was just a nimitta to give this beautiful message of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna and through Arjuna to all of us. So Pandavanam Dhananjaya. I am Dhananjay. Dhananjay means one who is a name of Arjuna, one who has won lots of wealth through his effort. He not only gained knowledge, wealth of knowledge, but he also got lot of weapons also and other wealth through his efforts. Therefore he was called Dhananjaya. Dhan ko jitne wale. And he had Bhagwan Krishna, the greatest wealth, as his friend. So Pandavanam Dhananjaya. Then Muninam api aham Vyasaha. Then among Munis. Who are Munis? Munis are those great rishis, great wise people who are contemplative, mananasyilavan, who contemplate, who are great thinkers, who through their thinking, contemplation, they understand not only the truth, but they are able to express it the most fascinating way. See, this ability which Bhagwan has given to us, which is there in our intellect, to think logically, rationally, and arrive at understanding. The knowledge is already hidden there, but when we think, contemplate, it comes out. Just like in a milk, the ghee is present in the milk, but it has to be brought out. So first we convert the milk into curd, then we churn that curd and take out the makhan. And that is then heated up and we get the ghee. Similarly, that knowledge is there within us, knowledge is there in our scriptures, knowledge is there in other people, but we can take it out through our contemplation, our thinking. We can dive deep. See, like these shlokas, like I told you that the shloka number 20, aham atma gudakesha sarva bhutashaya stitaha aham adishcha madhyancha bhutanam antaivacha. How long did you contemplate on that shloka? Some of you may not have contemplated. Some of you may have contemplated maybe for half an hour, 1 hour. So when we contemplate on that one shloka also for a long, long time, for years together, we will be able to take out the amrut which is there, hidden in it. Manthan. So they are the Munis who do this. They are the great thinkers. And through this thinking, they bring out the gems which are already there. The gems are there. They don't create the gems, but they bring out through their contemplation. Just like the great wealth is there in earth, but we have to mine. For example, the diamonds are there, but we have to keep on digging and dive deeper, 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 and then find those diamonds. Similarly, through contemplation, we dive deep and take out those gems of wisdom. So such great people are called Munis. So among all those Munis, Bhagavan says, I am Veda Vyasa. Veda Vyasa is just amazing. Veda Vyasa is Bhagavan's avatar. One of his avatar. Veda Vyasa was born with the knowledge of the Vedas. And he was a great thinker. So he presented this, not only he systematized the Vedas, presented them well, but he also presented the various Puranas. And the most fascinating of his expression is this Mahabharata, which contains 1 lakh shlokas. The Mahabharata is the sara of all the Vedas. In fact, Mahabharata is sara of all knowledge. It's an encyclopedia of knowledge. It is said that what is there in Mahabharata alone is there everywhere in this world. And what is not in Mahabharata is not there anywhere. Such bold statement is made about Mahabharata. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhi Fullar Vindar. Vyasa is of Vishala Buddhi. So among all the Munis, so many Munis, Kapila Muni, Valmiki ji was a Muni, so many Munis we call them. Among all the Munis, Bhagavan says, Veda Vyasa is my Vibhuti. Muni Nam Api Aham Vyasaha. Even this beautiful text written by Veda Vyasa, the Brahma Sutra, are so amazing. In sutra form, some 555 sutras, Vedavyasji gives the essence of the teachings of the Vedas and the Upanishads. So Muninam api aham Vyasaha, and Kavinam, Ushana Kavihi, then there are Kavis. Kavis, we say poets, but Kavis are Krantadarshinaha. Krantadarshinam. Krantadarshi means those who have such knowledge that they have the ability to see in the past, present and in future also. Their wisdom is such deep and so fantastic, they can visualize the future, what will happen in future. They can tell. Tell means not that they are Jyotishis or something, but they can, understanding the present, understanding the past, they can tell what will come in future. Because it's the whole world is like a cycle. Everything is there. Those who know how to read the world, those who know how to see, they are able to not only tell what will happen in future, they can also tell what has happened in the past. They can tell. Just like if we see let us say they observe a comet in the sky. So they see the comet with a long tail, and they can measure the speed of that comet, and they can also observe the size and the quality of that comet. And from the speed of that comet and the size and all and the direction, they can predict, science can predict from where that comet must have come and in which direction it will go in future. Even sometimes they see some asteroids, some meteors in the sky, and they can, seeing the quality and the size and the weight and the direction and all, they can predict from where the asteroid will move, whether it will strike the earth or it will go from far away. If you read all the science news and all, you will find that so many asteroids, they pass the earth, near earth objects and all. But if they see it far away, and they can predict from there that it might strike the earth also. See, many millions of years ago, a huge asteroid or meteor, it struck the earth about 60 million years ago, when the dinosaurs were living on earth. It struck the earth with such a great impact. Huge asteroids and meteors, they are huge, as big as what you call like the Himalaya mountain coming down on earth. When it strikes the earth with that impact and force, it is like a great bomb only. It releases so much of power, pressure, that there is a total vibration in the whole earth, and so much of dust gets released that it covers the entire earth, and it makes the whole earth very dark, and it remains dark for many years, so all the plants and animals start dying. So this phenomena happened about 60 million years ago. So they can predict, this scientist, observing the present, they can infer what was happened in the past, and they can predict the future based on their observation. So one who can see this, all the three periods of time, is called Krantadarshi. They are called the Kavi. So among all the Kavis, Bhagavan says, Kavi Nam Ushana Kavihi. I am Ushana Kavi. Who is Ushana Kavi? Ushana Kavi Shukracharya. Shukracharya ji was the teacher of the Asuras, but very wise and intelligent and amazing personality, Shukracharya. He has the knowledge not only of the past, but he knows what is happening in the present, and he knows what will happen in future. See, just like the Devtas, they also need Guru to guide them. The Asuras also had their Guru as Shukracharya, who is to try to guide them on the right path. So among all the Kavis, Bhagavan says, I am Ushana Kavi, that is Shukracharya. Okay? So more about this lovely Vibhutis we will see in our class tomorrow. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy. Do your work, do your sadhana. Contemplate on these vibhutis. Meditate on Ishvara. And we meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. बोलिए सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांतिः. हरिः ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ओम.